my song, but it's beginning to be my song for all the people that seem to be missing from my life right now. But Todd and I were also dear friends, both connected to a guy named George McCorkle. George played on both of my albums that we made. We played several shows together. George was the rhythm guitar player and one of the songwriters for the Marshall Tucker Band. He wrote Fire on the Mountain, which is one of the national anthems of the South, it turns out. We got real close and played these hundreds of shows together, and he passed away maybe 2 years ago. So a lot of times I feel like I'm sitting on stage with, ghosts. I don't know why I want to do this, but I'm going to. This is a song by Wilken, who's my neighbor. She's also a great singer-songwriter. Todd and Warren and me and Lynn played my favorite songwriter round at Douglas Corner about probably 5 years ago. Enchanted Night. I'm doing this, but I'm going to. What I wouldn't do for one more moment with you, what I'd give for one more touch. Could I ever give too much to be with you for one more day? There is no price I would not pay. Oh, the way I'm missing you, I don't know what I wouldn't do. I don't know what it's gonna take to relieve this constant ache. You're not being you. You're not being here. The bottle comes out with the stars. They say the wounds soon turn to scars. Oh, but the way I'm missing you, know what I wouldn't do. The bottle comes out with the stars. They say the wounds soon turn to scars. How can a heart expect to mend? Those old memories never end. To be with you for one more day. There's no price I wouldn't pay the way I'm missing you. I don't know what I wouldn't do if I could be with you. I don't know what I wouldn't do. Nice to have friends that can write songs like that. Got a bunch of them. trying to remember. Todd and I met through a guy named Jerome Ernest. Whoa, look on my chair, I'm videotaping. Have you run into him here? I'm trying to figure out if he's still here. I'm gonna find him and thank him for hooking us up. I've had 3 or 4 guys, you know, that have come along, kept me playing music. Todd was the most recent. I also had, it was really fun, and Todd was great about it. I had a group of semi-pro musicians that were my original band from my hometown. You know, who've been playing, you know, country covers in the VFW hall ever since then. Still good players. They're not Nashville caliber players, but they're good players. And when we made the first album, I flew them out to be the rhythm section to a couple of songs. And it was really hard. They couldn't bring their own gear, and we couldn't really rehearse, and I haven't played with them for 25 years, and it was really hard, and particularly hard from an engineering point of view. And Todd was just a real trooper about it, had a great sense of humor, and went to a lot of trouble, and we blew a whole lot of money on the first tracking session having to do with those guys. But they kept me playing a long, long time ago, so I figured it was only right that I should bring them back and introduce them to Todd. and they hit it off, and actually the bass player, who's I guess one of my very best friends, he came back and played on the second one too. Upright bass is really good player. One of the few people that can follow my twisted up sense of rhythm. That was the other thing that Todd let me have. I did perform to a click track, you know, a small drum pattern, but I have a quirky, loopy little sense of rhythm that he never tried to straighten it out. He was like, no, that's cool, I'll play with it. And it makes all the difference in the world as to whether I sound like me or somebody else, you know? That was the struggle for me, was trying to figure out what I sound like. He showed me. Sing low. Get out, don't sing those high notes. He used to say, just, you know, just because you can doesn't mean you have to. And he was also, Todd could go get those high notes for me, see. I didn't have to, on harmony parts and stuff like that. Todd could sing like a dog, notes that only dogs could hear. Very high. Great vocal arranger. It was like, we could make it sound like a gospel arrangement, it could be a country arrangement, it could be a rock arrangement, it could be what we want. How do you want this to sound? It was really brilliant in the studio.
Coming in the fall, I guess there's a Pensacola Folk Festival coming up, or I don't know if it's Folk Festival, Music Festival. Songwriting Festival. Are you expecting to go to that as well?
I'm absolutely going to go to that.
Okay.
I will be there for the whole, as long as Renita will allow me to be there.